Hello Zanzi, welcome back to the channel. So you guys, we are finally getting a glimpse of what actually happened between BK and KB and how BK felt like he was sexually harassed by KB to a point whereby KB had to be literally disqualified from the competition. So after BK exited the competition, he didn't really speak much of what had actually happened because he was the one who experienced the harassment from KB. So he did not really say much. He just went on about his day. But now, however, it seems as though he did spoke about it on Yolanda's podcast. He was with Uswis as well. So according to him, he said that BK, he said that UKB laid her hands on his private part and she literally grabbed him to a point whereby he literally had to ask the other housemates to intervene because he felt powerless and could not do anything. Obviously he could not forcefully remove her, or he could not just react in a violent way because that could have landed him in hot waters. So also Swiss chimed in as well and said that KB would literally grab his manhood as well without consent. It was basically a thing that she was doing with the both of them, whereby she would grab their manhood without asking for consent from them. So this is how OPK explained it in Yolanda's podcast, and then I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary, guys.
For also her benefit. So, and what I want to say with the whole situation was that
Please bring your mic a bit so we hear you.
Yeah, I was in bed, and then she came to my bed, and she was making advances aggressively, and
wait, making advances how? Tickles.
Making advances to me. She made mention. Yeah, she made mention of salt and me helping her with her salt. You understand?
And not the one you used to cook, guys, just to be clear. So she just mentioned things, she didn't touch you.
She did touch me.
Okay.
Because she was also over me. And to such an extent that I asked her to stop so many times, to such a point where I was even shaking in just wanting to get her away from me, because I felt like if I touched her anyway, it was gonna be wrong. Yeah, it wasn't gonna be nice. You understand? I asked for help from, I think Abobo and Rianda were in the room. Nate was closer to, like, I think she was on Jojo's bed, like, which is a bit further from where everything was happening. But I kept on asking her to please stop, like, fiddling on me. You understand? I mentioned that multiple times. And then as she was doing all of that, I finally managed to get her off me. And then I went to the kitchen first, right? And after going to the kitchen, I think.
So as you've heard, you guys, from BK's mouth, so apparently according to him, OKB went into his bed without consent, first of all, and she was making advances in an aggressive way, like he was making advances in like aggressively towards him. And he did say that he did ask her to stop on several times, to a point whereby he now started shaking because he had been telling her to stop several times, to a point whereby he had to ask Uyanda and Abobo, who were apparently in the room when this incident took place, to help him. And after they managed to get her off of him, he then went into the kitchen, and that is when Big Brother called him into the diary room, and we also that KB was disqualified. And you guys, I feel like this whole thing, from her perspective, I think that she had the mentality of thinking that since he's a guy, he's not gonna say no. Like, how sometimes guys like it when women are the one who takes charge, and they are the ones who are throwing themselves at them. I feel like she was on that mentality, like maybe he's gonna enjoy it, he's gonna reciprocate, he's gonna react the same way. And unfortunately he didn't, and he did say to her several times, no, stop it. And I'm just I feel like this whole thing, it did not blow up the same way that it would have been if it was a guy, because he even does mention it on this podcast that he did not want to react in a very violent or in a rudely manner or in an aggressive manner, because that would have made things worse for him. And I feel like if he had done that, he would be the one who would be labeled as a pervert. But since it is a woman, I feel like it is not getting much recognition, and it did not get much recognition whatsoever. It was not even acknowledged by Big Brother, because literally the only thing we when he announced his disqualification, the only thing that we were told was that that KB got touched a housemate who was not named, and apparently she had been disqualified. A lot of people were confused in terms of what had actually happened, because I felt like this thing, they handled it in a very poorly manner, simply because he is a guy. But anyways, guys, comment down below what you guys think of this in the comments, as you guys have heard from BK, and tell me guys what you guys think in the comments.